Mets leading the Yankees 3-0.
Hell yeah. Don't look now, but I'm telling you.
I'm not going to look now.
The Mets are okay. They're no longer a laughing stock. I think they're only a game. I got to double check, but I think they're only a game back of 500 now. And are right in the wild card mix.
So the NBA draft is underway. Risacher.
Yes.
Goes.
Risacher, I've heard it. Even Adam Silver pronounced it different than what everyone's been saying.
How tall? By the way, this is going to be a rough night for Adam Silver.
Yes.
Like if he has any self-respect, I don't know if that's the right word, but I mean, it's amazing. We've talked about this before. We cover the NFL draft every year. We're on the air. It's amazing how many times Roger Goodell butchers a name.
Oh, all the time.
I think Silver's got his work cut out for him here.
Yeah.
But if he handles these names well tonight, I think that's a feather in his cap.
Well, I've heard Risacher a bunch because he's been the #1 pick. But if we still have it, when you listen to him say it, he says it different. But I don't know. Maybe he tried to.
So do you think he's doing his homework, or is he going to butcher these Roger Goodell style?
He might have done.
Do your homework.
He might have done what Swag did, where he tried to put a little accent behind it. He tries to put a little stank on it. But
Risacher.
I believe it's Risacher.
All right. Well, whatever. How tall is that guy?
He's like 6'9".
Yeah.
He's like a 6'9". He's a 6'9" Frenchman.
You know what? He doesn't look imposing. Weak.
That's all you need
That's
to know.
a weak
you're
pick.
You're like, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. They're seriously, between him and Sarr, who are going to go 1 and 2, I've listened to a bunch of different pods and read different articles on him. There's no one that thinks that either one of these guys is a superstar.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Well,
both have a lot of work to be done.
I think it was. Did I mention it was Dirt and Sprague this morning that said Sarr is? He's probably going to go #2 here. It's the Wizards, by the way.
Yeah.
On the clock, but he would be the #7 pick in last year's draft, or
Yes.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
So he could be a Blazer.
And there are
ironically.
a lot of people just think that Sarr, he's a 7-foot athletic freak, but a lot of people just think he's baby soft and doesn't really have a lot of dog or competitive streak in him.
Well, he is from France.
He is from France.
You want to hear how Adam Silver said that name again?
Yeah, give it to me.
Atlanta Hawks select Zaccharie, Risacher.
Risacher.
I think he just went to put a little.
You went
Is that
Risacher.
wrong? But nobody knows if it's right or wrong.
I don't know. I've got the guy here.
Risacher is what I've been hearing, and he said Risacher. He's like Risacher.
Risacher?
Did I pay him off?
Did you go #1 in the draft? Is he part of the exclusive Risacher
Come on,
brand
Silver.
now?
I just think there's no excuse. I don't care where these guys are from or how hard their names are to pronounce. Get it right.
Yeah.
Well, while we were playing Risacher, Alex Sarr just got selected #2.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, so he goes to the Wizards. The draft order after that is Houston, San Antonio, Detroit. That'll be your top 5.
Well,
then you have Charlotte, and then the Blazers pick at 7.
And this is where it gets interesting because everybody says that Houston doesn't want this pick. That Houston is not interested in this.
They got this through the Nets.
That Houston wants to move off this, that they're looking to compete and compete right now, and they don't want the #3 pick. So if someone is in love with someone at the top of this draft, whether that's Steph Castle, whether that's Reed Shepherd, Klingon, this could be the one where Houston is in the market to maybe do something, and these next couple picks could be wild. And then Portland sitting there at 7. There's some talk that maybe Portland would want to move up and get Klingon, that he's not going to be available there at 7, or are they just happy to take whoever falls to them at #7, whether that be Connect, whether that be Klingon, whether that be Cody Williams, the small forward out of Colorado.
I don't quite. I mean, we had Sean Hyken of Rose Garden report on earlier, and he was just mentioning, a rim protector. Okay,
Yeah.
so Klingon or Zach Edey.
Yeah.
And I get the idea. Do you need a big to protect the rim? The Nurkic or whatever. But am I wrong that Klingon and Edey are a little bit more flat-footed, little bit more statuesque, which doesn't necessarily lend itself to today's NBA?
It certainly is not what the league is going to with the 5 out and playing small and stretch 5s.
But at the same time, you need rim protection. You need a big. So
I will say that Edey is much different than Klingon.
Yeah.
Klingon is a ballerina compared to Zach Edey, but Klingon is a guy that is a traditional, and he has no offensive game. He's a lob guy, dunk. Think a less athletic version of Rudy Gobert. That's what you're getting, and there's a belief maybe that he could develop an outside shot at some point. But yes, if you go with Klingon, you're getting the big 7-foot physical, traditional rim protector, and whatever he gives you on the offensive end is putbacks and dunks. Edey, on the other hand, that's the one I don't understand, because at least with Klingon on the floor, he can be an anchor for your defense. I feel like Edie's just going to get pick and rolled to death, which is what UConn did in the championship game
exactly.
against him.
And that's why
I don't get the Edie thing. Klingon, I'm not in love with as maybe some other people, just because I don't feel like the NBA is going that way. But there's a lot of people in the NBA that are apparently in love with this guy, and they think he can.
So they think he can hang.
They think he can hang.
Well, we'll see. Alex Sarr, by the way, here's what they say about him. He goes to Washington. Sarr is as close to a lock at number 2 as one can get, and he was taking number 2. He worked out and met with the Wizards, but refused to do the same for the Hawks. His potential as an elite rim protector on defense and a pick-and-pop threat on offense, along with how well he runs the floor for his size, makes him an intriguing NBA prospect in the front court who can also stretch to the wing. So those two Frenchmen are, I mean, you know, this day and age in the NBA, it's about length.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it doesn't even matter how raw you are, how young you are, how bad your shot is. None of it matters. If you are long, teams are going to work with that. And that was true of Risacher or whatever, number 1.
Who people say is like, he doesn't have a great offensive game. So people compare him to like a Harrison Barnes, which that goes to show you that if your ceiling for the number 1 overall pick is Harrison Barnes, no offense to Harrison Barnes.
That's brutal.
That's not,
that's brutal.
That's not the greatest thing in the world. And what I was hearing from Sarr is that, like, anytime he's just moved around a bunch, from G League at night down to Australia, that he doesn't love competition, that he kind of looks for the easiest way out, and people, and even the not wanting to go to Atlanta, that he wanted to go someplace where there was a clearer path without competition, where he could just walk right in. And I think that's why some people question Sarr is, can you get him to care, and can you get him to be motivated? Because once you're in the NBA, there is no easy path. Dare I say, DeAndre Ayton type, like where you just question how much he loves competing.
Yeah. All right, well, the 3rd pick is Houston. There is some thought that the Blazers could come out and pull a trade here, but also a thought that Houston will just take Reed Shepherd, who is from Kentucky, and he can shoot. Probably the best shooter in the draft.
Dude, he shoots like over 50% from threes.
52%,
yeah. He is a pure shooter, but he's smaller. We don't know if he's a true point guard, but he's too small to play the 2, and I guess he's a defensive liability, but he can shoot the lights out. I heard someone say if he wanted to go, if he can develop into an actual point guard, someone said maybe because he's white, maybe the best comp would be a Mark Price from back in the day, old Cavaliers point guard.
Mark Price. See, now you're in my wheelhouse.
There you go.
That dude was good.
Yes.
Perennially underrated.
Yes. The Reed Shepherd kid can shoot. Flat out shoot. That's his thing. So, you know.
All right. Well, the pick is in. We'll wait for that.
We'll see what happens.
And then it's San Antonio has 2 top 8 picks, so they'll pick 4th, and then they'll pick right after the Blazers as well at 8.
Hold on, everybody.
All right, let's go to the podium.
With the 3rd pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Reed Shepherd from the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, safe.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want shooters?
The kid can immediately come in and shoot.
And that's
There's going to be liabilities elsewhere, but he is NBA ready to come in and shoot the 3 ball.
But doesn't that tell you, like you said, that is an indicator that this draft is not very good.
Houston
There's no one else.
Yeah, Houston didn't want this pick, and
we'll just take the kid who can shoot 52%.
And no one wanted to come up and get it. And someone, I was listening to someone said that the best thing about this is, in a draft like this, if you can find someone that can do one thing really well,
take him.
Take it. That's good enough. If you have a guy that's like, I know that he can come in and do this in the NBA, that is going to be an attractive thing. And maybe that's Klingon with the rim protection.
Now, this next kid that San Antonio could be targeting here, Stephon Castle from UConn.
A lot of people think that this is
now, this is a nice player.
I've seen a lot of people that say if you had to take an upside pick on someone,
that's the guy.
It's this kid right here.
Yeah, he was good in the tournament. 6'6", a little size for a guard.
Question is he a smaller wing or is he a bigger point guard?
Yeah.
Sounds like his camp is trying to force him to be a point guard, and not everyone's in love with that. The jumper needs some work, but there's a lot of people that think that this is their number 1 guy in the draft.
Yeah.
And if he goes to San Antonio, won't that be perfect? Like that'll just
Why?
because San Antonio will
Spurs always get the guy.
They'll develop that. They'll get him a jumper, and he'll become a monster with Wemby.
They always get the guy.
Yeah.
All right, so the Spurs next up, followed by the Pistons, Hornets, and then your Trailblazers. So, Buck, I think we should take a break here while we've got a little break in between picks.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then, that way we can kind of stay on track here.
Someone said, "Damn Rockets took our 6'1" white guard." Rat farts.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, Blazer fan.
You know, the best text that came in on the text line today so far, I don't have the text line up here, but you do, and you pointed this out to me, and I thought it was great. You know, the Blazers got this, the only player in the league from Israel.
Yes.
They pointed out our listeners did some digging, and they pointed out that there are 2 players that could go in the second round, and they are from Palestine.
Have some guts, Blazers. Let's unite everybody.
Could the Blazers bring in a Palestinian with the man from Israel
Solve the world's crisis.
and solve the world's problems?
Yes.